and hello. Hey, Wakasm plays Legacy of You. And how's everybody doing today? First things first, a little bit of housekeeping. I've been sick for the past, I think, 9 days, which is why I haven't been recording. I am still currently sick. You might be able to hear it in my voice. You might hear me sniffle a lot. I apologize, but I figured if I waited any longer, I would end up not recording for like 2 weeks, which is not something that I want. But I've talked about it in past videos, but I have some sort of like thing with my throat that I have to see a specialist about that keeps coming back. I've gone to different doctors. Some doctors think it's a viral thing and then it doesn't go away, and then they think it's something else, and then they might think it's something to do with my tonsils. All I know is that this is like the 4th time this year, and we're only in June, that I've been very heavily affected. Basically what happens is my throat tightens up. I have a hard time talking. I get a sore throat for like a week. Comes and goes. But yeah, it makes recording anything using my voice a little bit harder. And then also, you know, it just doesn't feel fun to record on camera when you're sick. So I decided to play a quick game today just to kind of get something up. But again, that's why it's been like 9 days. I have a bunch of video game stuff I could have uploaded, but I'm trying really hard to do one board game play, one video game play, and always going back and forth. I don't really want to do just all video game stuff. Video game stuff is a lot easier for me to record because I can just sit down, hit record, play something, and walk away, and I don't have to edit anything. But board games do require some amount of editing, some amount of being on camera, more setup, things like that. So when I am sick, it does take a toll. So I apologize ahead of time if I sound funny. That's why. If you hear me swallowing a lot, that's why. But today I really wanted to play Legacy of You, and hopefully we can get through a playthrough today without any issues, without any rules mistakes. It's a pretty straightforward game, but as always, if I don't have a ton of experience with the game, I am prone to potentially making some sort of rules mistake. I don't think I will this time, but hopefully I won't anyway. But yeah. Anyway, let's get started. Also, I'm trying to get the 300 subscribers, so if you feel like you want to support me, feel free. That's what you're seeing on the screen right now. Kind of popped up a little earlier than I wanted it to, but that's fine. So because I'm sick, I'm going to kind of rush through the rules a little bit. Maybe on a future play, I'll explain the rules a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up explaining all of it. But the general idea of this game is, I guess we'll get to the introduction, which might make more sense. This does have a bit of a historical theme. The introduction during the reign of Emperor Yao. If I say any of these Chinese names wrong, I apologize. My wife is Chinese, and I still don't even ever say anything even half correctly when it comes to Chinese pronunciation. But yeah, the people of ancient China were constantly plagued by deadly floods along the Yellow River. Eager to put an end to the devastation, Yao selected Gun, one of his officials, to devise a plan. After 9 years of failed attempts using dams and dikes, Gun's deployment came to a questionable end. After his passing, Yu inherited his father's work. Learning from Gun's failures, Yu set out to construct a series of canals to direct the surging river into nearby fields and smaller waterways. So, if you are unfamiliar with this game, it is a legacy game. You are at most, I think, playing 13 games. Basically, the way it works is there's kind of 2 decks, which I have set up right here. And each one of them has 7 cards in them. One deck is comprised of what happens when you lose a game, and one deck is comprised of what happens when you win a game. And each has 7 cards. So basically you play until you either win 7 games or lose 7 games. So I guess the worst outcome could be you lose 6, you win 6, you lose 6, and then you play like a final 7th one to see like what the total outcome of the game's going to be. But that does mean there's a lot of elements that carry forward, through a campaign. There's a lot of stuff that we will unlock that might carry forward to another game, might make any individual game harder, might make individual games easier, and they're all rooted in this history, the Legacy of You. I'm not that familiar with the history, so, maybe I will learn something along the way. Maybe you will as well. I probably picked a bad game to have to read or narrate anything for, with my throat being the way it is, but we're going to do our best. So generally, the way the game works is we are trying to build canals. And the way we do that is basically we pay this cost up here. And what will happen is we'll remove that card, and there'll be some stuff underneath the card, and we'll flip over the card. And sometimes there might be story elements, sometimes there won't be. For instance, like anything that has this symbol right here that has like a number on it will mean that we have to go read something in the storybook. So, you know, sometimes cards might have stuff in the back, like on these cards down here. But generally speaking, in order to win, we have to go down the canal or go down the river, making canals, or yeah, I think I'm saying that correctly. And we basically have to get all the way to this last card and then survive until the end of the round. Okay, and I'll explain how that works. The way that we can lose is one of three ways. The first way is if this like wave icon ever catches up to this boat, then we lose. Basically if it ever has to go on top of a card, you know. So again, to kind of show you, let's say if we at some point in the game remove this card, you'll see that we kind of irrigated a canal here. This would move the boat up to here at some point in the game. But as long as it's not going on top of a card, we don't lose. Okay, and this is always on top of a card, so it's kind of how you can visualize how that works. The second way we can lose has to do with barbarians. So let me explain barbarians. At the beginning of the game, we kind of start the game like this. All right, so these are the townsfolk, and we start with a pile of 10 cards. These are basically the good guys. They're the ones that are going to be giving us resources. But you'll notice at the very end, we have a barbarian. And the barbarians are going to attack us every round. We can bribe them with our resources to prevent them from attacking us, but when they attack us and we can't bribe them, we basically end up getting rid of one of our townsfolk. And if we're ever in a scenario where we have to... Sorry, I'm going to be doing a lot of coughing. If we ever have to discard a townsfolk and we can't because like they're attacking us or through some other mechanic in the game, then we'll lose. And then the other way that we'll lose is if there's ever 7 barbarians. So basically what's going to happen is there's this icon right here. I'll zoom up and show you that. This little +1 red icon. And as we, you know, go down further and remove these cards, more and more barbarians are going to be coming out per round. So right now only 1 comes out per round. But we are forced to kind of go down because that's the win condition. But we're also forced because we're trying to stay ahead of this like wave. I should do it like this, probably easier to see on camera. We're trying to stay ahead of the wave for the flood, and you know, so we'll be forced to do it. But as we go down, more and more barbarians per turn or per round will be coming out. So it's our job to kind of build up our resources and deal with them. And then all we have to do is survive the last round. So if 6 barbarians show up at the top and we have 1 townsfolk spot free, then we'll win. But if ever there's 7, then we lose. And those are the 3 loss conditions. 7 barbarians if we ever run out of these cards, or if the flood ever overtakes our boat. So that's the general gist of the game. The rules are very nicely laid out on the back of the booklet here. So basically, the round structure is we're going to do a harvest phase. We're going to take our actions, and then we're going to return the barge. Basically, if we ever build a canal space, we'll put the barge over here, and then this is a reminder to put it back. We can only ever build 1 canal space per round, so every time we build one, we're going to remove the barge over here, and then this is our time to put it back onto the board. Then we'll suffer the attacks from the barbarians, and then we'll refresh all the card rows based on what's going on. This is all the iconography. There's a bunch of different workers. We have laborers, fighters, riders, spearmen, and archers, also known as the white, red, black, blue, and yellow workers. Basically, this means we can take any colored worker except for white. This means that we can take any colored worker, including white. And then we have a bunch of different resources: wood, clay. I'm probably going to accidentally call this brick a lot. Provisions. We have shells, cowrie shells, yeah. And then there's a bunch of other iconography that, you know, we'll cover when it's time. So. And I think we're just going to get started so you can kind of see how the flow of the game works. So at the very first turn of the game, what we're going to do is we're going to harvest. And harvest has to do... Oh, well, actually should probably put all of the other pieces onto the board. That would make sense too. Again, I'm sick, so I apologize. This is something that should have just been done already. There's not a lot of setup, but if I wanted to save time, I could have set all this up. All right, so I'll just cover what I put out as well. These are huts, these are farms, these are outposts. I'll cover them a little bit more once it's time, but the general gist is we can get them out onto spaces like this. We'll get the bonus resource, and then, for instance, if we take this, every time we harvest, we'll get an additional provision or we'll get an additional worker. If we put out an outpost, it kind of lets the meeple colors be the same thing. So this would mean all white meeples will now be the same value as red meeples, and red meeples will be the same value as white. If I had two outposts out, this would mean that all the black, red, and white meeples also all kind of can be substituted for each other. And you can build these in any order, like you don't have to go left to right. These are the costs to build them. And then huts, the way they work is basically you can build out a hut for these resources, a white worker, 3 clay, and a wood. This would go out, and then basically you'd flip over this card, and there might be something on the back. Usually it's a story thing, and then it kind of reveals this worker space that we can eventually start taking advantage of. In order to take advantage of these spots, we have to put a worker on it, and then we get the bonus. So for instance, underneath this one, we can get extra workers by putting workers on it. And then it also frees up spots to, I forget what the term is called. I want to say like retire a worker, but let's just say that this was in our hand. You can kind of put these on these bottom slots down here, and basically you lose the worker for the rest of the game, or the townsfolk for the rest of the game, but every time you harvest for the rest of the game, I will get an additional red worker. So as these huts go out, we get more spaces to put more workers underneath as well. Like I said, it's not too complicated. There's a lot to kind of learn. Anyway, to start the game, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to harvest. We are going to harvest everything that it tells us that we can harvest. So first, it's hard to see, but that's a 4. So we're going to get 4 townsfolk to our hands. And when I zoom out, you'll see what's going on with my hand. We are also going to get 1 white laborer. We're going to get a shell. We're going to get a provision. And then if we had any more, any outposts, for every outpost that's out, we would get an additional shell. And if we had any farms out, we would get whatever is revealed there. That's all we get. And then if we had any, I don't know, retired workers, or I'm not 100% sure what the term is called, I have to look it up, but if we had any of those down there, we'd also get those. So yeah, we are starting with 4 cards, and then just these resources. And that's it. Now we can take actions. So if I understand the rules correctly, we have to use all the cards in our hand. Like, we can't choose not to. There's 2 ways that we can decide to use the cards in our hand. First things first is we can just use the card and exhaust the card. Why can't I get this to going on here? Something's up with the zoom here. Give me a second. There we go. I'm not sure what was happening. It did not want to zoom. I think it was seeing this card's face in the background and it was trying to zoom up on it. But so we can exhaust the card and put it kind of into our, discard pile, I guess is what you'd call it. I think it's called exhaust though. And we could just get the top left thing, or we could get rid of the card completely and we could get the top and what's in this like red spot. So I could get like 1 lumber and 1 worker. Reason why you don't want to do that is your townsfolk pile is what accelerates the game. Basically the flood accelerates every time we are like, say we have no cards left and we have to draw one, the flood's going to move down. So that's like our timer for the game. So we want to try to get as many townsfolk as we can. So we don't want to eliminate them if we don't have to. So, yeah. So, what do we want to do here? I feel like it's a very tight game. We know that right now, up here we have a barbarian who is going to, basically, when he attacks us, he's either going to kill a townsfolk, or we have to bribe him with a provision. So we might want to be in a position where we can generate provisions every turn. So I think I'm going to use, I like both of these guys for their bottom powers. So let's see what we get with these. So in order to advance this space here, we need 2 laborers and two shells. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to generate a free provision. We can do that early. We know we're going to need it. And then I would like to try and start auto-generating provisions, clay, and wood. I just don't know which is the best one to do. I think I'm going to do provisions first. And I think we're just going to immediately retire this character right here. That means every harvest now, we're going to get an additional provision and an additional shell. And then, actually, is that what I want to do? I think I actually want to do it this way. I think I'm going to start getting clay and shells. And then I think I'm just going to retire this character, or not retire, just discard this character for provision, discard this character for a red meeple, red worker, which is a fighter, and then this one for a blue one, which is a spearman. And hopefully over time I will start memorizing what these are. And that is it. That's all my actions. So I have no more cards left. So next, we would return the barge had we built it, but we did not build it this turn. So then we are going to suffer attacks. Again, we're just going to suffer this guy's attack right here. And again, just to kind of show the card up close, we can either bribe them for 1 provision, or we can lose a worker or a townsfolk. We're going to bribe them for 1 provision. Actually, sorry, there's some stuff we forgot to do. I totally forgot. Rewind. First time playing. We can also recruit characters from townsfolk from up here, which I'm totally going to do. I'm going to recruit her for free, and then I'm going to pay 1 each for these 2. And when you recruit them, they go into your little pile there. Now we're going to do the barbarian attack, and basically we are out of provisions for this turn. So we suffered our attacks, and now we're going to refresh the card rows. So basically these are all going to come down like this. He's going to advance 1, and we only have 1 new barbarian coming out because we only have 1 barbarian icon out. So now we're going to have to deal with 2 barbarians, and then we are going to then fill up the rest of the row with townsfolk. So I should have 6 more guys left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to flip these over. So we have to now take care of this spot. Otherwise, we are going to lose the game, because on the next turn, when we go to draw from this pile and there are nothing left, the flood's going to move up. So, now's the time we have to do it. So we're going to have to focus on that. We're also going to pay attention to what's happening with barbarians. And let's see what we can do. So first, we're going to harvest. Again, we got our 4 cards. We get this guy back. We're going to get another one for this harvest. We're going to get a shell. We're going to get a provision, and then we're also going to get an additional shell, and then we're going to get an additional clay. So this is everything that we have. All right, so we didn't get any workers that give us provisions. One thing that you can do, I don't want to do it though, but I might do it, is I think I have to do it because I don't have a way of getting provisions at all, is you can discard a guy directly from up here and pay the cost to get the reward. This particular card gives us 2 provisions, which I'm going to need this turn. Actually, I don't need the provisions yet. Hold on. Let's not do that yet. First, let's tackle this. Let's get this over with. I just need 2 white laborers and 2 shells. And we are going to get basically everything on this card as a reward. So we're going to get 1 clay, we're going to get 1 wood, and then we are going to have to get rid of one of our workers. And I believe this comes from the top, right? Yeah, ready pile. So we lost this guy, which is not one that we wanted to lose because we really wanted the white worker reward, but what can we do? And then there's nothing else on the card. The back, this just kind of shows the setup. This is a canal card that goes into either the 1 or the 2 spot. So that's everything there. And then we now have unveiled. So the barge is going to go on our rulebook. We'll put it back out. We cannot do, if we had enough to do the second space, we cannot do 2 in 1 turn, in 1 round. So that's another limitation that you kind of have to keep an eye on. There are no new barbarian spaces, so there's still only 1 barbarian coming out. But now we have the ability to spend 2 shells for 1 provision, which is good. That's going to be important. So now I think what we are going to do is we are going to we're going to spend this guy. Probably do it this way. I think it's easier to see. We're going to spend this guy to get a white laborer. And we're going to immediately use this white laborer to get a provision. Or, yeah, a provision. And then we're going to build something. I just don't know what I want to build yet. Actually, we can't build anything until I do this. So we're going to get rid of this guy to get another white laborer. And for 1 labor, 1 brick, and 1 wood, we can get a farm. And I think we are going to get another provision and do it that way. So we put a farm out. We're going to get an additional provision back. And then we, I think, are going to get a blue laborer, a spearman. And we are going to spend all of this. We're going to spend our... Oops, sorry, I got the colors wrong. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. All right, we're gonna change this up. I'm gonna do it this way. I kind of made a mistake. Actually, it doesn't matter. The mistake is made already. I thought I needed 2 blues and a red, but in fact, I needed two reds and a blue to be able to do what I wanted to do this turn, which is unfortunate. Didn't have a way of fixing that, so we're not going to fix that. We're gonna just get rid of her wood, and then so mistakes were made. Okay, so we're just gonna I think I should have 1 more of these. You know what? Okay, we're gonna move this over here instead. We're gonna get rid of the provision. We're gonna get a shell. I feel like I should have 1 more shell. I don't know where all my shells went. I should have generated 2 shells this turn. Actually, you know what? If I'm cheating, I apologize. But I feel like I'm supposed to have 2 shells. And I'm going to take that provision back. So let me explain what just happened. I know that... No, I did this turn. Never mind. Going back to this. We're going to put this here. We're going to get the shell. We'll be down 1 provision. No more takebacks. From now on, we're committing to our mistakes. This is a learning game, but otherwise I'm going to be doing that all day long. I don't know if I actually shorted myself a shell. I probably spent it there, which is why I actually only have 1 left. But I think this is correct. I don't think I've cheated at this point. All right. So the reason why I wanted all this taken care of is my original plan was I was going to go after this barbarian up here with 2 red and a blue, but I just got it backwards and I have 2 blue and a red. So that's my mistake. I can try to fix that later, but I'm going to have to, when I get attacked, have a provision and 2 shells ready to go. That's not what we wanted to do, but I don't know. Maybe it'll work out for us in the long run. Maybe we can save provisions by attacking people on the second row, or on the 2 provision spot. All right. So what I'm going to do now instead is I'm going to purchase this person, and I'm going to spend a provision, purchase this person. And I would love to spend 1 more provision, but I don't have the ability to get 1 more provision. We've maxed out our provisions. Assuming that we did not cheat, we maxed out our provisions. Or also assuming that we didn't make any mistakes. All right. So now we are going to go, I think that's all the stuff we can do for the turn. So we did our harvest, we took all our actions, we're now going to return the barge, and we're going to suffer attacks. In order to suffer attacks, we are just going to spend all of this for the 2 barbarians. And we're going to refresh the card row now. So these guys are all going to slide down. These guys just slide down 1. We're going to have a 3rd barbarian here. And now we're going to see if we can find a way to get the black workers to get rid of this guy. Otherwise, we'll just try to get the other red one to finish him off. All right, so we are going to now harvest. And when we harvest, basically we're going to go top to bottom. So we're going to get a provision from this. Then we're going to get our 4 workers. 1, 2, oops, I don't know what I'm doing here. 1, and then the flood is going to advance because we have to now draw a worker. I don't know if we shuffle this. I got to go look that up real quick. Yeah, so we do shuffle. Normal rules when it comes to this sort of thing. So we're going to shuffle, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So far 12, although we might have to destroy more cards, so We might have 3 full rounds before we have to advance the flood. We might only have 2. Depends if we get more cards. Or depends if we're forced to discard any cards, which may or may not happen. We'll see. Alright. So 2, 3. We are going to get our red worker, which is good. Alright. Then we're going to get our white laborer. This white laborer comes off the board. We're going to get a shell. We're going to get another provision. And then we're going to get a clay and a shell. So, this is our current hand. So we have a lot of things that we can do right now. We can get a lot of provisions. We can get our... Oh, and we got to fill this guy right here. So first things first, I think let's take care of the obvious things. Let us get 2 provisions and let us get a red worker. 2 provisions and a red laborer, which is a fighter. And we're just going to immediately spend... We're going to immediately spend 3 provisions. 1, 2, 3. And a blue spearman and 2 warriors to fight this guy right here. And oh yeah, this is everything. It costs 3 provisions because it's on the 3 provision space right there. And then it costs 2 fighters and a spearman. And we are going to get, as a reward, 2 more shells and another clay. So clay, and 2 shells. And this just kind of comes off the board. Now, what do we want to do with the rest of our turn? I think it might be time to get a hut out. Well, first we're going to spend 1... I think we're going to spend our blue spearman to get a provision. And then we have to make sure we have a provision and a clay for the 2 barbarians that we have. So I think we're just going to cash both of these guys in for a clay and a wood. And I think we're going to build a hut. I kind of want to build the black meeple guy. That would probably be strong, but I think we're going to build a hut first. It's going to go out. The only space it can go out right now is here. We're going to get another provision. And it's going to cost 3 clay, a wood, and a white labor. And this is going to come down. And then we're going to flip it over. And we just get a provision, I think. I think that's what happens. I think sometimes there's story elements, and sometimes there's just resources. Let me check. Yeah, and we're actually going to make one small change here. We're not going to take this wood with her. And we do just get a free provision. That's what this card says on the back, I believe. If I'm getting this wrong, let me know, but I believe we just get a provision for building this farm. I think sometimes there's story elements on the other side, and sometimes there's not. But instead of getting the wood with her, we're going to actually retire her, or whatever that's actually called, so that every round we can get another shell, and this time we'll get a provision. I kind of like getting these double... I think I like the idea of getting these doubles. I don't actually know if that's a smart idea, but that's what we're going to go for. All right. So then I have 1 more worker, and I can put the worker here to get a worker of any color. And I think I'm just going to start doubling down on black, because we need a lot of black workers. And the black ones are riders. And yeah, so that's it for this. We have plenty of cards right now, so we don't have to worry about this yet. We will have to do a story thing, though, when we unlock that, but at least we're not losing any laborers, so there could be some good timing stuff there that we can take advantage of. And that's it. So we are going to just do the round structure. We did our harvest, we took our actions. Oh wait, no, I always forget. Sorry. We are going to do this as well. We are going to get this person for free, and we're going to spend 2 provisions on these guys. We want a lot of townsfolk. And they each cost 1 each, so bye-bye 2 provisions. Now I think we are done, but I always forget to do that, and I'm sure at some point the timing of me forgetting to do that's going to mess with the balance of the game, where it's going to be a mistake. So now we're done taking actions. We returned the barge. We didn't take the barge, so we're going to suffer attacks. So we are going to suffer 1 brick and 1 provision because of these 2 guys up there. And that's it. We're going to refresh the card row. So these guys are going to slide down. Sorry. He's going to slide over. We're still only at 1 barbarian. That's going to change soon. And then we're going to fill this up with townsfolk. All right, we don't like that guy. So both of these were auto-generated right now, so we can kind of like keep them at bay. But this guy we don't like. So, all right. So we're going to do harvest. We are going to first take 4 new character cards. And then we are going to get a provision. And then we are going to get a labor. We're going to get a shell, another provision. These guys come back to our hand. And then we're going to get 2 more shells. And then we're also going to get a clay and a provision. Okay. So right now, we're kind of hurting for wood and workers. So, what do we want to do with our hand? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 guys left. So even if we somehow get 1 destroyed, we still don't have to do the canal yet. We can try to risk 1 more round. The only problem is that we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to end up being forced to get rid of anything. So that could be an issue. But let's see what we can do with what we have. I think the first thing first is we're going to get a fighter, a red worker. And we have a black worker. So we're going to use this blue worker right here to get another black rider. So this gives us the 3 that we need for this barbarian up there. And I think we're just going to go after that barbarian. We have 3 provisions already. So 3 provisions, and oh, I got the colors wrong again. Sorry. I didn't need a black. I needed a red. But I can still do that with the wild that I took. Yes, I had a black one. There we go. I have to stop doing that for some reason. But yeah, those match. So this will be a story thing, and I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully we don't lose any dudes from this. All right, so he comes off, and it says read 12 in the storybook. So this is our first legacy element of the game. All right, so yeah, exactly what we didn't want to have happen happened. All right. It is days like this that make me yearn for home. There are still people, our people, who do not see. They cannot see the work that we are doing is all for all of the Empire. They only see a chance to take. My heart bleeds for them and their ignorance, just as my men bleed for our work to carry on. We pushed back a strong foe, but the cost of our own warriors is high. My thoughts will be with the rest of my warriors tonight as they remember the fallen. So I'll defeat a barbarian card in the box under history. So this guy goes away. And then I have to take 2 damage and get 3 shells. Right there. So which means that I am going to lose 2 characters. Boom and boom. So now I do have to take care of this before it's too late. Which means that we're going to start seeing more and more barbarians coming through, which is not what I wanted. But I do get 3 shells. And we almost have all the shells that's in the box, so we probably should start spending them at some point. Maybe I should have gone after the other guy instead, but it's too late. We didn't know what was going to happen, so... Okay. I mean, I guess I should always assume that, like, story stuff from barbarians will be bad. But now I only have 3 guys, and there's no way to get guys on top, as far as I know. Maybe there's a way to do it, but I don't know, so... So I guess we're going to do this then, and we're going to see what happens. So we're going to spend our 2 laborers and 2 shells. We're going to move this off the board. And we're going to get a clay, a wood. I was really hoping to be able to get 1 more turn without having to do 2 barbarians. And then we have to read 42. So we're going to put this here, nothing on the back. Alright. Another canal completed, another band of rebels seen scouting the camps along the river. The floodwaters flow away from the essential lands and into streams and rivers, getting safe land to farm and settle. It is my hope that these men and women will see the restoration of this land and come to help complete this righteous work. In later seasons, we will need to create more canals to take the flood all the way to the sea, where it can finally rest. But for today, we will celebrate the work of our hands. File the constructed canal card in the box in the history. So this goes away forever. Everything that basically goes in the history is gone forever until we, are done with the campaign. Find card 46 in the story deck and place it face down on top of the barbarian trial pile. Okay, so whatever we find. So there's basically a deck. It said 46, right? I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to know what that is. Does it tell us? Probably told us, right? Place it face down on top of the barbarian drop pile. So we're going to assume that we're not supposed to know what this is. So that's going to go over there. So now we don't really have any more workers left, which is not good for us. So I think we are going to, actually, we cannot do anything without a laborer. So we're going to need to start finding a way to get more laborers. But we are just going to do this, I think. Maybe this might be one of those times I do this, because I feel like I'm losing an entire turn if I don't do this. Alright, so instead of taking this guy, I would love to take this guy into my pile down here. But instead, I'm just going to move him off to get a white laborer. So I don't love that I'm doing that. But getting a white laborer is going to let me then spend a white laborer, a clay, and a lumber to put out another farm. And when I do that, I can get any color of my choice, and I'm going to get a black. And then, what can we do now with what we have going on here? I think I'm just going to cash in with what I have for some stuff. I think I'm just going to get 3 provisions. 1 provision and 1 clay I'm going to reserve for the bad guys. I'm just going to put them up here to remind myself what they're for. And they'll have a bunch of shells. I can trade 3 for a brick or a wood, or 2 for a provision. I think I'm going to spend 4 for 2 provisions. Now I have 4 provisions, and I think I'm going to buy 1, 2, 3 townsfolk, the 4 provisions that I have, and then I'm going to spend my last worker to get a blue spearman, and then I'm going to use the blue spearman to get another provision, and then I think that's all I can do for my turn. So we are done. We're going to look at the rules. We did our harvest. We took our actions. We're going to return the barge. We're going to suffer attacks. We've already kind of put our resources that we're going to suffer up here. So we're suffering a clay and a provision. And then we now have to refresh the carbros. So these guys are going to move down 1. And these 2 barbarians are... This hit my head on the camera. This is another story one. They take a lot more food, or a lot more provisions, or they kill things harder, which we don't like, so we're going to want to take care of them soon. And they can be taken care of with any 3 poet meeples. And then we're just going to fill this up right here. And then now we are going to do our harvest phase. Alright, so we are now getting a labor and a provision from our huts, or from our farms, from these guys. And then we're going to get our 4 cards. We're going to get our 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we are out of cards. So we're going to shuffle this whole deck, and the flood's going to advance. So how many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we got about 3 rounds of cards here, unless guys start dying, which they will when we start building. We're going to be losing a lot of guys on these next 2 canal spaces. So that's something to keep in mind. And then I get another laborer. I get a shell. I get another provision. I get another clay and another shell and another provision and another shell. Unfortunately, I don't have the laborers that I want yet for what I need to do. But let's take a look what we want to do. Sorry, with the sniffling again, sick. I apologize. Got 4 provisions. I have 1 rider. Oh, and I actually have these 2 spearmen they come back to. So, man, I think we're probably gonna take care of this person this turn and maybe this person this turn, depending on what we can get from our cards, because we're getting a lot. We're basically all of our cards right now. Whoops. All of our cards right now are giving us workers. We get 2 yellow workers and 2 white workers. So assuming I don't want to do the bottom action on any of these, I think I'm just gonna use them all for their workers. I might change my mind on that, but it's very easy to take back if that needs to happen. But that gives us 4 laborers, gives us 2 yellow workers. So what I think we're going to do first is we're going to use a white laborer to get a worker of any color. And I think we are going to get a black rider. That's taken care of. We don't have any wood, but if we do this canal space now, we'll get wood. And I think it's probably in our best interest to get this canal space over. It's going to stink because we're going to lose 2 guys, but we'll be able to get another building out. So I think we're just going to do it. So I think we're going to do this now. We're going to move the barge. We're going to move this. And it's going to cost us 3 laborers and 2 shells. And that's going to give us a wood and a clay. And now we can trade in a laborer and a provision to get any kind of worker that we want. And we have 1 more space now to put out a hut, potentially. So now my choices are, do I try to... What do I go after here? I can't go after everything. So I think I'm going to do it like this. I think I'm going to spend a clay with this guy. Oh, wait, I didn't notice that. Mistakes were made. Our problem now is we don't have enough provisions to prevent stuff. You know what? We might undo this. Hold on. I thought we might build a building, but we don't have any more laborers, so we're going to put this back. And we're going to... We didn't actually destroy any guys, right? We forgot to do that step anyway, so that's good. We're going to put back the brick, the clay, and the brick. Right? We should still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay. And instead, we're going to spend our laborers in a smarter way this turn. What we're going to do. We're going to spend a laborer here to get an extra provision. We're going to spend 2 shells to get a provision. We're going to spend another 2 shells to get a provision. Actually, there are no more provisions left, so we're not going to do that yet. Hold on. I guess there's only 6 provisions. I didn't realize that's the provision limit here, unless I didn't put them back somewhere. Let's see. There's supposed to be 9 provision tokens, so where are all my provision? Oh, they're over here. Okay. But let's not make that mistake. So I will spend 2 shells for provision. All right. So this is what we're going to do, I think. I think we're going to go after these 2 guys. So it costs more provisions than I would like, but I think this is the smarter play. Although now we're missing... Oh, we can solve that. Okay. So I think we're going to put these 3 workers here, these 3 provisions. And then we're going to do these 3 workers. And we got these 2 left. And then we're going to spend 3 shells for a... And oh yeah, actually, you know what? We don't need to do that. This is why we... Look, I already put my clay on this card to mark off that we're going to reserve for it. So we're going to do it like this. So all of that is taken care of. We've done our 2 worker abilities down here. We're not going to do this turn. We'll just do it next turn. It doesn't change anything because we're not going to build any new buildings with the resources we get this turn anyway without the laborers. So, all right. So that is it. We're going to do our harvest, took our actions. We're going to return the barge. We're going to suffer our attacks. So again, well, actually, no, I'm an idiot. I should have done all this first. We're doing this first. This happens like immediately. I don't know why I was thinking this happens at the end of the round. So first, I'm going to get a shell and a card to play. So let's do that. Maybe that will change things up. And basically what this means is I reveal 1 new card from the top of the barbarian draw pile. Is that what that is? No. I draw 1 card from the top of your ready pile. This is never optional. Okay. So I basically get this person, and I'm just going to cash her in for a red worker. Sorry. This is who I've revealed. And then this card's going to go away. Then I'm going to do this card next. And basically, I get, what is this? I get the draw one card from the top of the townsfolk draw pile to hand unless specified otherwise. So I get this card. Alright, so she's going to go away. There's no story with her. She stays in the barbarian pile. I guess she's there every game now. These all go away. Oh, okay, it does change things. Look at that. Order does matter. So I get her, which means that I can use her to get a labor right now. And then I can now spend the 3 labors and the two shells. I just dropped a labor on the floor. That's not good. I want to do that. Now this is going to go back over here. This card's going to come off. I am going to get the clay and the wood. And then now I got to get rid of 2 guys. And I lost these guys, which I don't like losing him, but I don't know how to effectively play this, like, draw 5. I don't know why I'm holding it all the way up there. I don't know how to effectively play this. I'm kind of nervous to use these, so yeah. And yeah, so we lost these guys. Nothing we can do about it. That leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards left. This goes over here. And now with 1 more laborer, if I want, I can actually get another building out. Question is, what do I want to get out? If I want to get this hut out now, or this farm out now, I mean, I can do it, so I might as well, right? I kind of want to get a hut out instead, but I can't afford a hut, so yeah, we'll do 1, 1, and 1. Which gets this out. Feels like I'm overkilling on the income, but I don't know, maybe this will work out to our favor. We'll see. So 1, 1, and 1, and I get a provision back from that. Alright, so now I can't get any huts out or any outposts out until we advance the canal again. And the next time we advance the canal, we'll have 3 barbarians coming out every turn. So now we push the barge back, we suffer our attacks, bribe, and we refresh the cards. So basically, oh wait, nope, we forgot one other thing. Sorry, I do this every time. I am definitely going to take this guy for free, and I'm going to spend 2 provisions to get these guys. Gotta remember, that's a thing. Now 2 barbarians, they're going to commit. And I'm knocking everything over. Now we have problems. Alright, things are going to feel way worse now. We might have to start, like, actually getting rid of townsfolk for their secondary powers. Alright, so we are going to harvest for the next round. So we're going to get a labor. We're going to get a provision. We dislike these 2 guys the most. So I guess we'll get a yellow worker. No, we'll get 1 blue worker, actually. 3 cards share blue, so let's get that out of the way. And then we're going to get our 4 cards. 2, 3, 4. I actually should probably look up and see if we have to do it in order left to right, like top to bottom, because it would probably be smarter to look at our hand first and then decide what meeples to get. But I actually don't know if we have to do it in a specific order. We get these 2 guys back. So we have 4 laborers. We get a shell. We get another provision. I assume I gave myself this provision. And then we're going to get a clay, shell, a provision, and a shell. Alright. So what can we do? We have a lot of provisions to get with our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a blue. Our problem is now is we don't have enough wood. Can we do anything interesting here? Be able to... Alright, let's get all our provisions. I don't think we're going to be able to get this turn, but maybe next turn we can get this out. And again, I also kind of want to start getting outposts out, but it doesn't seem to be working that way. So we're going to get 4 provisions and a red. 4 provisions and a red worker. Red worker. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We have a lot of provisions to work with. We have 2 red workers, a blue worker. We can use 2 laborers to get a provision and another meeple of our choice, worker of our choice. I think we're going to get a yellow. Do we have the ability to stop these guys this turn? Now they need 1 more blue or 1 more yellow. We do. I can turn in a labor and a provision to get a meeple of my choice. I don't love it, but I think we're going to get another blue. And we're going to get rid of the guy who takes wood away from us because that's not great for our situation. Although, if we get the other guy, we'll actually generate a lumber. Yeah, we'll actually get a yellow instead. All right. So we're gonna attack them now. We'll do 2 yellows and a blue and 3 provisions. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of this guy. That's gonna give us two shells and a lumber. We're gonna pay a clay to this guy. We're gonna pay a provision to this guy. We're just putting it up there so that we can kind of mark our place. So she's gone. We do not have any other ability right now to take care of anyone else. Maybe I should have went the other way and got the... I don't know which is better for our situation right now. We don't generate a lot of lumber. That's our issue. Sorry, okay. I keep hating that I'm doing this, but put her back to blue. Instead, we would have taken blue, and we have to give back the 2 clams and a wood. All right. Instead, we're going to go after this person. Make sure this is a smart play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 cards, so this is going to work out. Then we're going to get a clam, and we get to play a card. We get a blue worker from that. Still doesn't get us to where we want to be, though. All right, so are we in a position where we want to start trashing dudes? Probably not. So we're going to put 1 red worker there. And I think we're going to spend 3 provisions to buy up these 3 guys. Actually, it's only 2 provisions. Buy them up. 1 of them is free. And we still don't have enough to build anything. So that is it for this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So that is it for this turn. So we are going to harvest. So we harvest this. We took our actions. We're going to return the barge. We're going to suffer our attacks. So I already put the resources that we're paying. We're bribing all these guys. And then they're going to slide down 1. 2 more barbarians are showing up. So we have to start taking care of these barbarians somehow. Which might mean that we have to start losing dudes to get more workers faster. 1. And then this is going to get shuffled. Okay. All right. Now we are going to harvest. So when we harvest, I'm probably going to look it up for next time. But I am curious if I have to do this in a specific order or not. But we're going to get 1 laborer, 1 provision, a worker of our choice. I think we're going to get a black. Then 4 cards. We have exactly 4 in a pile. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as long as we don't have to draw anything, nothing advances. And I don't think we advanced this before too. This should be there, I'm pretty sure. That makes more sense. And then it's going to advance here on the next turn. So that's another little thing, again, if you watch this the whole time screaming at me, hey, you didn't advance the flood, now would be your time to yell at me. Hopefully I'm not getting any rules wrong, but I feel like I might be. So now we're going to get a laborer, shell, a provision, 2 more shells, clay, and another provision. So we're going to get a... And I think... Well, we have a lot of clams, so let's see. We might not need to do anything weird yet. Alright, these guys come back too. So first we're going to use a laborer to get another black meeple. I'm kind of wondering if I got the wrong ones again. Hold on. Yeah, instead of the black meeple we got before, we're gonna get 2 yellow meeples. One from this and then one from the one at the beginning. I think we're gonna go after the one who takes red workers. We're gonna attack her right away. Cost 2 provisions. Go after her. So 2 provisions, 2 yellow workers, which they are archers and a spearman. And we're gonna get 2 shells and a wood. I'm really nervous about how many times I've advanced the flood this game. I'm really wondering if the flood's supposed to be here, but I think it's only supposed to be there. I would have to like pause and rewatch, which I might end up doing. Hold on. Alright, I did a quick check and I don't think I cheated with the flood. I do think the flood's in the right spot. But again, I am sick, so I blame any mistakes on that. Easy thing to make blame mistakes on. So that's taken care of. So now I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to actually get a hut out. Actually, we can't get a hut out. We don't have any spaces for huts yet, unless we want to deal with more barbarians. So that's annoying. So I think we are instead just going to get our resources from these cards. We're going to get a blue, a black, and 2 provisions. And then we're going to figure out what we need to shore up. We do not have enough to take anybody down yet, but we could spend a labor and a provision, a meeple of any color that we would like. And I think it would make sense to get another blue. I don't love that I'm doing it this way, but I think this is the way we're going to do it. Because we don't want to get rid of any black meeples right now. Alright, so we are going to spend 3 provisions and 3 meeples. Sorry. 2 blue and a red. Get rid of this new guy that popped out. And we're going to get back a laborer and a shell. They're going to go away. What is underneath this? Is it a way to get? No. Our biggest problem is we don't have a way to get enough like workers unless we get the right cards, which is what I'm realizing is our big bottleneck right now. We're going to get a free provision. And then what are we going to do with the rest of our stuff? We have 1 black worker meeple. We don't have enough provisions unless we spend a lot of shells. Let's see, 1, 2. Maybe this is worth doing. I don't really know. Feels like it might not be worth doing, but if I get 3 provisions with all these shells, 3, I can trade in 2 laborers and 2 provisions to get a black and a blue. I feel like I might be spending too much resources on this, but I guess we'll find out. And then we can, with 1 provision, take care of this barbarian and these 3 workers. And that's going to get us a laborer back and a shell. Alright, then we're going to take this worker for free. And we're going to take this worker for 1 provision. Now we have a really large pile of workers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. But I think we lose if we can't ever draw from this pile. So we got to kind of start getting rid of some people at some point. And then we're going to have to pay a clay and a wood. I don't love that we're paying the wood. But since we can't really put out any more buildings right now, that's what we're doing. And again, the only thing that I'm afraid of is that I forgot to move this up 1 of the shuffling cycles. Like I said, I did stop the video and I looked at the video and I think I did this correctly. But I do feel like I have a lot of workers here. So I don't know. We'll find out. You'll let me know in the comments if I played it wrong. All right, harvest. We did. We took all of our actions. Return the barge. We didn't take the barge. We're going to suffer our attacks. We are going to bargain with these guys. And then Also, what happens if we run out of barbarian cards? Do we lose them too? Or do those get shuffled? I suppose you could like get things into a perfect position where you know exactly what barbarians are left and what townsfolk are left and like take advantage of their cards. I am new to this game. Alright. So we have shuffled. We added 2 new barbarians. We slid them down. We had 3 townsfolk. We're going to shuffle our big deck here of townsfolk. Again, we are hoping we have not cheated in any way. But we have not really had to lose too many townsfolk. We had to lose the 2 from these canal spaces, and that's it. And I think from one event, we paid off everyone up there. Either I cheated, and this is now going up, and this should be here this turn, maybe. I don't know. Or I didn't cheat, and I actually did a good job managing my townsfolk. Alright, so we're going to harvest 4 cards. Alright, and then we're going to get our labor, we're going to get our provision, we're going to get our worker of any color, which I think we're going to now try to get the lumber guy out. So we'll start with a blue. And then we got our 4 cards. We're going to get our labor. We're going to get our shell, another provision, and then another clay, and another shell, then another provision, and another shell. All right. So it seems like we can get 2 yellow workers, another blue worker, and another clay. And then what can we do? We want to get rid of the guy who gets rid of the lumber. Although we also have this guy at the end that we got to deal with too. I feel like we're just floating. Like I feel like we're not advancing at all. I mean, maybe I have to like start just getting more barbarians on the board for this to work. But it feels also like a bad idea. Do that. These guys also come back too. All right, so we can get any worker of our choice. I'll probably get 1 black worker to start with. And we are going to spend 3 provisions. Oh, no, actually, I need to spend a provision and a laborer to get another rider, which is a black worker. So I have 2 black and 1 yellow. And then now 3 provisions, and we're going to eliminate this guy so we don't have to start getting rid of any blue workers. And that's going to give us 2 shells and a clay. We're going to leave this guy who keeps stealing all of our clay for now. Now, if we can get rid of this other guy with what we have, I would do it. In order to do that, I have to get 2 provisions. So I'm going to trade in 4 shells for 2 provisions. I'm going to use a laborer to get another provision. Probably could have done this smarter, but we're going to get rid of 2 laborers and 2 provisions. Get archer, and then I guess we get another archer. And then now we're going to spend another 2 shells for another provision. And for 2 provisions, 2 spearmen and a rider. We're going to get rid of this guy. He stopped stealing our lumber. That's going to give us back 3 shells. And then we need 2 shells for provision. And we're going to pay off this guy right here. I mean, I guess we could kind of go all in and try to get rid of him, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think we are going to instead get 2 more provisions with 4 shells. Using that trade action. And we're going to get all 3 of these guys. And actually, that is going to kill us, I think. So we are going to use this guy instead, the free one. I think it was this guy. Pretty sure it was this guy. I can't undo that. I probably should have done one, but instead of taking him for free, we'll spend him so he goes into this discard pile. And then we'll have to shovel him out. And we'll just get a free yellow worker now. And I think that's everything we're going to do. We're going to go another round or 2 before we build this canal. So we did our harvest, we took our actions, we don't have to return the barge, we're going to suffer our tax. I already paid these resources. And then we're going to refresh the cards, so they're going to slide down. 2 more barbarians are going to come out. 1. Okay, and then it's going to be 1, 2, and then I only have 1 card left under this card, so it's going to be this one right here. And then we're going to do our harvest. We're going to get 1 more laborer, 1 more provision. We're going to get 1 of any color. What do we want to go after this time? I think we're going to get a red. We want to stop all the guys that take our workers first. And then we're going to get our 4 cards. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to get another laborer. These 2 laborers are going to come back. We're going to get another shell. We're going to get another provision. We're going to get 2 more shells. We're going to get another clay and another provision. Staying afloat. All right, so I think we're going to do the following. I think we're going to get 3 provisions and a wood. And then I think we're going to use this character to get 2 black. And we're going to discard her up there. Set it into our exhausted area. I think that's a good idea because she'll cycle back through and we'll get her back. Because we need a lot of archers or riders. All right. Then now we're going to use a laborer to get a red worker, and a red worker, a red worker, black worker, and 3 provisions. We're going to remove this guy off the board. And we're just going to get a shell and a laborer back. I feel like I'm churning water right now. How many rounds do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 3 more rounds. Then, what do we want to do? We've got 2 different guys that are taking clay. So let's get rid of 1 of them. We're going to trade in a laborer and a provision to get a red worker. And I think we'll just go for the cheaper guy. So it's going to be 2 provisions, 2 riders, and a red worker. These guys are all going to pay for him, and he is going to give us a shell and 1 of our cards into play. Now I just have to worry about 1 clay and 1 provision to pay this turn with these barbarians. Unless I want to try to wipe 1 more barbarian off the board in preparation for later rounds. I don't know if I want to do that yet. Now we also have this guy again, who we lost earlier. If we get him underneath, we can start doing 5 cards per turn. I don't know how valuable that is, but for now, we are not going to do that, and we are instead going to just get our provision and shell. And then we don't really have the necessary workers to do what we want to do here. So we're going to get a provision. And then, I don't know, actually, we might have what we need. Let's see. Now, we need 2 reds or 2 blacks. I could trade in 2 laborers. You know what? We're going to trade this guy in right now. No, we're actually going to collect him. We're going to pay, I got to pay attention to how I do this. We're going to trade him right now to get a laborer. Crap. I actually needed to trade him away. We'll trade him away to get 1 more provision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll pay a provision to get these 2 guys. This guy we will just put here. We'll take both of them and put them in our pile. And I think that's it for our turn. These guys are going to slide down. Here and here. 2. He's going to get shuffled. And 1, 2, 3. Again, I think it's how it works. As long as I don't have to draw from here without a card missing, then we don't lose. All right. So we have to pay. I forgot to do that. But I already put the resources on them. All right. So we're going to do another round. Again, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I don't think this is how it's supposed to play out. I get any color of my choice. I have 2 yellows. I think I'm going to start working. I'm going to have to get this guy here who's like a story character out soon. Also probably want to start getting 1 of those 2 play people out, or even the shells. I don't want to have to pay my shells. Shells have been pretty versatile so far for me with provisions. I get my 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We still have 10 cards left. All right. I get another labor. I get a shell, another provision, another clay and a shell, another clay and a provision. These guys come back. So let's figure out what we want to do. We got a lot of laborers here just doing nothing. I think we're going to probably want to get an outpost out. So that we don't have to like keep doubling up on all these different colors. All right, I think we're going to get a black meeple, and we're going to see what happens with this story. It's probably going to be bad, but it's going to cost us 2 provisions, and then 2 riders, and an archer. And we're going to open up the storybook for 22. Last time they brought out a mean person, so let's see if it does the same thing here. The cheers of victory were still ringing in our ears when a hush fell over the battlefield. The fight appeared to be over, but then something stirred to the dust and blood. A brute of a man who had fought to overcome our forces, blood streaming down his side, was rising, staggering to his feet, his sword still in his hand. He turned back towards our men, lifted his head, and tightened the grip on his hilt, ready for more. File the defeated barbarian card into the history, so he's gone forever. Find card 36 in the story deck and place it face up into the space where the defeated barbarian card was sitting. Okay. Hopefully this is a townsfolk. 36. Seems like that is not correct. I don't like that guy at all. Let's just drop that whole story deck. Let me make sure that that was the right card. 36. Okay. So now we have to deal with that guy almost immediately. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to use a provision and a laborer to get a black meeple. And we're going to use the 2 workers that we need. And 2 provisions. Take him out. He just came out, so we're going to have another story. 32. A shout of triumph, cheers of victory. The enemy was falling back. Their champion finally falling to our own brave fighters. We thought we would never go down again, but this time he wasn't getting back up. We make sure of it. File the defeated barbarian card in the box under history. Gain 1 wood, 1 clay, and 2 shells. Okay, well, I don't know if this is the game that we wanted to get all this bonus stuff. I had to trade in 2 shells for provision. There we go. So he's gone. So that kind of messes with my plans a little bit here. But maybe we just leave these guys as they are? I don't know. Let's see. Get another provision. I don't think we want to trade in all these shells for provisions, do we? How many provisions can we buy? We can buy 1, 2, 3. But we still would need to trade in 3 laborers with 3 provisions if we want to get rid of one of those guys. But maybe we just do it. You know what? What am I talking about? We haven't used any of our cards yet. Let's see what we get from our cards first. That will probably dictate. You can get a red worker. You can get a provision and a shell. And we're going to immediately trade in 2 shells for provision. That puts us in a better spot. And then we're going to get 2 clay. So the 2 clay that we just got it's going to pay for these guys. So we're going to see if we can take out that person right now. We have 3 laborers. 1, 2, 3. 3 provisions. We can trade all this in for any 3 meeples that we want. So we're going to get 2 red. We're going to get... Actually, we don't even need to do that many, but we'll do it anyway. We'll get a red, and a yellow. I have the extra red right here. I probably didn't need to trade all that in, but it's fine. Hopefully we don't regret that. Okay, we have the red. Actually, I have the wrong colors. I wanted red. I had 1 red, so we wanted 2 blue. Like this. I'm going after this guy who takes our shells. Red, blue, blue. We're going to trade in 2 more shells for provisions. We're going to trade in 3 provisions, 2 blue workers, and a red worker. Get rid of this guy. And he's going to pay us 2 shells and a lumber. We're kind of getting ahead on lumber now from all this fighting that we're doing. And then we are going to immediately use this guy. We're going to immediately use all of them. We're going to pay for 2 provisions with our shells. And we're going to trade in the 2 provisions. And we're going to immediately cash out all of them so that this row refreshes. So we're basically going to get back a laborer. I probably could have done this smarter, actually. A laborer, a rider, and then a provision and a clan back. But I think what I want to do is I want to, next round, recruit this guy and put somebody who generates workers up there for us so that we can just cycle through the workers. Again, assuming that I'm doing this correctly. And that's everything. So we're going to go to the rules. We did our harvest. We took our actions. We're going to return the barge. We suffer our attacks. We got to pay 2 clay. These guys are going to drop down. And then now, all these barbarians are going to get shuffled up. We're going to start seeing barbarians we've already defeated, except for the ones that had story elements. Ooh, we got that big one right there that we got to take care of. And then these 3 guys are basically coming back out. I guess I should shuffle them, but we're getting to an exhausted place. All right. She came out, the lumber person came out, and then these 3 guys came back. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to grab these 2 guys back. We're going to get our labor. We're going to get our provision. Get 1 of any color we want. Since we have that really strong one there, we're going to have to take them out first. So we'll just get, I don't know, we'll get a yellow because there's a lot of yellow guys out there. And then we're going to get another labor. We're going to get a shell. We're going to get a provision. 2 more shells. Another clay. And another. All right, let's see what we have here. We're going to have to trade in some of these guys. Who is a good person to trade in, I think? How many cards we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we are immediately going to cash this person in to get a black meeple and to get an additional card. And then we are going to get another meeple of our any color that we want. And I guess we'll just get another yellow. We're going to spend 3 provisions. And I don't know, we'll do a black. We'll do 2 blacks and a yellow. And we're going to get rid of her, who just came out. And basically what she's going to do is, as a reward, we're going to draw a card. And there's only 1 card that we can draw, the one that we just got rid of. So this is going to go into our hand. This is going to go into our hand. And we're going to play it again back out. To draw another card. And to get another black meeple. I'm going to play a labor to get a provision. Okay. And then I think we're just going to play all these cards. And we got 1, 2, 3, exactly 4 cards left. So can we... We're going to get 2 red workers. We're going to get a blue and a white worker. We're going to get a provision and a shell. And we're going to go after the guy who takes our wood. We need a lot of wood, I think, for what we're going to want to do soon. So we're going to get rid of 2 yellow and a red, 3 provisions. Get rid of this guy. And this is just going to give us 3 clams, 3 shells. And then we are going to have to pay with 2 blades. And I think we're going to buy 2 provisions with 4 shells. And then we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to take this guy into our hand with 1 provision. And then we're going to, for free, discard him for a black archer. And we're going to pay another provision to discard him for a laborer. All right. Now we're going to, on the next turn, we're going to advance this barge. And then we're going to start trying to speed to the end of the game. Stayed with me this long. Hopefully I didn't cheat. That's the big thing here. I might find out that I gave myself a whole extra round. I don't think I did, though. We have to first get attacked. We're going to take the bribe instead. 2 more barbarians are going to come out. And then these 3 guys are going to come out. We'll just put them out 1, 3. Now, we're going to harvest our 4 cards. We're going to get a free laborer. We're going to get a provision. Something of any color. I think we're going to get a yellow. We are actually out of white laborers, so I don't get one. That's a mistake. I probably should have traded in resources for that. So hopefully we don't regret that. We are going to get a provision. We're going to get a clay, provision, and 2 more shells. I could have traded in. I don't know if I can do it during the harvest phase, but I could have traded. You know what? We'll just do it. I could have traded in 2 clams for a provision and a laborer to get something of another color, which would have then let me get this one. Could have done it last round, so not like anything is revealed that's new. All right, so next round, this is going to be advancing. So first, let's take care of the barge. We need 3 laborers, 1, 2, 3, and 2 shells. Barge goes onto our rulebook. This is going to come off. We're going to have to get rid of 2 guys. So we're going to shuffle. I'm assuming, yeah, this comes off first. Like, I'm assuming this doesn't kill us. Because now this is going to advance the flood on us when we do this. We need to get rid of 2 from our discard. 1, 2. Now, if this would have killed us, I don't think it does, because I think you pay for this first, and then you get the rewards, and as part of the rewards, then the flood advances. This would have already been off the card already, but if it did kill us, then I could have just done it the round before. That's another thing that I'll have to look up. Now we can spend 4 shells for our laborer, if we need to. And now we have 2 spaces where we can build stuff, and we're going to try to take advantage of that right away. So first things first, we are going to build a hut. And we're going to get a red worker when we do this. We're going to spend a laborer, 3 clay, and a wood. And then I got to decide what I want for the reward. And I think I'm simply going to want. Well, we're gonna take this off first and see what we got. We got a shell, so no story elements from that yet. And then I think I'm going to spend a. Oh, I can't do it that way. Well, we have a lot of cards here, so we're gonna try something that I don't love, but we're gonna put this guy underneath. It's gonna let us draw 5 cards every turn. Whether that's a smart move or not, I don't know. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm assuming that's in the game because it's worthwhile, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spend a laborer to get. What do we need? We have 2 clay, 3 wood. Let's hold off on that. Let's see what we need to do first. All right, we need to start taking care of some barbarians here. We need to, because now 3 barbarians are be coming out per turn. So we are going to take care of we're going to trade in a yellow, a white laborer, and a provision to get a red. And we're going to spend 2 provisions. And these workers, get rid of this guy. And we're going to get 3 shells from that. 1, 2, 3. And so he's going to go away. Now I have to decide if I want to get a outpost. I think I want to get an outpost now. And I think we're going to spend a laborer, a clay, 3 wood, put this red one out. This. Don't know if that's a mistake, but we're going to find out. That's going to give us a black worker. So now we have all these workers here to use. A red and a white. We have 1 clay. So I think we are going to use a white laborer, a red laborer, and a black laborer. Well, actually, hold on. Before we do that, let's advance the canal. Oh, we can't do it to the next turn. All right. So we're going to use a white as a red because we have an outpost that lets us do it. And we are going to go after that guy. We need 3 provisions, and we're going to spend 6 shells to get 3 provisions. All of this is going to let us tackle him. He goes away. And that means we're going to get back a shell and a white labor. And then I think we're going to try to go after 1 more, if we can. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. We're going to spend a labor and a provision. We spend 2 more clans for provision to get a yellow worker. And we're going to do a blue, yellow, yellow. And we're going to spend all our remaining clans. Actually, that could be a problem. We should be okay. No, I think we're actually just going to hang on for a bit. I think we're going to instead... What are we going to do? Well, we have 2 more white workers and a black worker to grab from our cards. And I think we're actually going to get rid of these 2 guys to get 2 more provisions. We're at that point in the game now where I think it's time where we start culling through our deck a little bit. And now we have the 2 provisions. So we're going to go after this guy right here. It's 2 yellows, a blue, and 2 provisions that we just got. And we're going to get back a shell and another white worker. And then we are going to get this guy for free. And we need to keep 2 shells. So we're going to pay for 2 provisions. 2 provisions. We're going to use these provisions to grab these guys and put them into our deck. And we're going to use a worker here to get a shell. That is it for this turn. All right. That was a lot. We're getting to the end now, though. We took our actions. We're going to return the barge. We're going to suffer attacks. We have to pay 2 shells. Barbarians are going to show up. 3 are showing up a turn now, so we're going to see if all this preparation is enough to keep me alive or not. Then we get 3 new townsfolk. And then we do another harvest phase. So we're going to get a labor provision. We're really low on provisions and stuff now, so we're going to see how this works out for us. We probably want to get another red. And then we're going to get 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get another 5th card because of this. And then we're going to get another labor. And we're going to get a shell, a provision, another shell because of this outpost, 3 more shells because of these cards, a clay, and another provision. And then we get all these laborers back too. Okay. So I think the next thing we are going to do is we're going to put a laborer here, and we're going to get a blue. And I think we're going to advance the canal space. We're going to have to lose 2 guys, and we're going to have to advance the story. We're going to see if that's good or bad for us. Probably bad, but this is everything that we have to pay. So we have to pay all this to get this. And we're going to lose 2 guys from our pile. The top 2, and then we're going to have to count our cards. We might regret having done that. I don't know. We're going to see. And then we have to read page 44 in the storybook. A commotion drew our attention over the river today. Shouts and crashing sounds barreled from the forest as we watched and listened. A resounding roar echoed out through the valley. The people flinched back from the shore even though we were across the surging waters. A second yell preceded a figure breaking from the tree line and running for the river. It was a short-lived attempt at escape, for moments later the source of his dismay came crashing from the forest. A huge bear, blue and brown in the fading light, arrows protruding from its fur. The man was running as if spurred on by his ancestors, but the bear was faster. I'm not sure what the barbarians did to anger this creature, but it was clearly unhappy about it. Once we are sure the animal is gone, we will send some men to bury what is left of the man. No one should be left like that. File the constructed canal card in the box under history, so this goes away. Find card 54 in the story deck and file it in the box under huts and canals for future games. Okay. I'm doing this the wrong way. Okay, so this goes into our huts and canals. And then discard the leftmost barbarian card from above the board if possible without gaining its award. Okay, well, I'll take that. Probably should be putting these guys up there too. Alright, so that's taken care of. So now we have two spaces to build stuff, but we don't have really any lumber yet there. At least not this turn. Maybe if we kill some stuff. How many cards do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We gotta be a little bit careful. All right. So what can we do with what we have? We can get a brick and a wood. Let's do that. A brick or a clay and a wood. That lets us almost build something. We can then, what can we do then? We can then get another brick, this, and get another provision. And then what can we do with our workers? Our reds can be whites. Not really helpful. We kind of chose the wrong color, I think. Almost wish we got another outpost instead. That might be the smarter play. We have all the wrong colors. So we can, what can we do? We can get rid of this guy. Just get 2 provisions. I think that's a smart play. And then we can pay to get these guys into our pile with the 2 provisions. So that's all taken care of. We want any of these immediately? I don't think so. Yeah, we're kind of in a bad spot with how we got our resources, I think, here. Well, we can get a yellow with this guy. I don't want to leave this person for... Actually, you know what? I don't want to start generating more laborers. Red is not helpful for us yet. What do I want to do here? I'm going to have to pay a lumber back, a red meeple, and a white meeple if I don't do something. I can trade in my 2 laborers with our 2 provisions. 2 laborers, 2 provisions. You get 2 yellows. And then 2 yellows and a black. And 2 provisions. I can take care of this guy. And that's going to let us get a shell and another card. And that gets us another yellow. Gets us a little bit closer to where we want to be. Probably wanted to do this differently then. Instead of getting the clay, actually I don't remember what I got from this. I don't remember if I got clay or wood. I think I got wood from that. Well, we can start prepping for an outpost soon. We can't get the wood this turn, I don't think. In fact, we're going to lose a wood, unfortunately. So we're just going to trade these guys in. We're going to trade this yellow and this red. And I think we're actually going to trade her in completely to get 3 provisions and start getting ahead of provisions. And that is it for this turn, which is unfortunate. So we're going to have to pay a lumber and a red meeple, these 2 guys, for the attacks. They're going to slide down. 3 more barbarians are coming out. As good a shape as we thought we were in, we are not in the shape we thought we were in anymore. So you're going to come out, and then we're going to shuffle you. This boat goes back out. Yeah, we might not be generating enough workers anymore. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to get a labor. We're going to get a provision. We're going to get something of a color that we want, but I don't know what. Probably the blue. I have to start working from the easiest stuff up. Got our 5 cards. Another laborer, a shell, provision, another shell, another clay, another provision, and then 3 more shells. All right, let's see what we can do with what we have. I think this is the turn where we got to start trashing our dudes for more dudes. And I would love to find a way to generate more laborers to deal with more stuff, but we get these guys back. Oops. So, we're going to get a lumber first. And I think we are going to build this hut. Got 3 clay and a laborer, and we're going to put out a hut. We're going to get a blue worker back. And we have a story. So watch, let's see what happens here. Could be good, could be bad. I feel like it's going to be bad. Alright, 31. Alright, the camp grows more and more each day. Workers pour in from the surrounding lands, some sent by the Emperor, others have nowhere else to go. It is heartbreaking, but I must continue my work. We must make more room. File the constructed hut card into the history. That goes away. Find cards 1 through 3 in the story deck. 1, 2, 3. 31. And we just file them in the box. So nothing actually happens from that, which is good. All right, I think we are going to file. We can start getting red meeples every turn. And then, what are we going to do here? Blue, blue, yellow, and 1 provision. Can we get an outpost out this turn? That's the question. We have 3, we can get 2 lumber. We get a 3rd lumber from killing something or from something in our hand. We can. All right, so we are going to trash her and get a blue and a lumber. We're going to trade in 3 shells for a lumber. And then we're going to trade in 3 more shells for a lumber, I think. Because I don't see any lumber. Oh, there is a lumber reward out there, actually. Let's trade in 2 provision and a white for a yellow. And we... Actually, I didn't have to do that, but we're going to do it anyway. 3 and 2 provisions. We're going to get rid of this guy. This is still in our hand. And she gives us 2 shells back and a lumber. 2 shells back and a lumber. And then now we are going to pay a laborer, a red, labor, a clay, and 3 wood. And we are going to probably black. Everything, let everything be black. No, let everything be blue. Makes more sense right now. No, black. But we do get a yellow. Okay. And then now we have what we need for 2 blue and a yellow and a provision to get rid of this character, which is going to give us a shell and a card. And then we have to count our cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have exactly 5. We don't want to draw any more if we don't have to. All right. Now, can we get rid of 1? If we can get rid of 1 more, let's see. We can get a blue with this. These could be whites. And 3. If we can get rid of 1 more barbarian this turn, I think we win. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check how the ending condition works. Alright, so if I can get rid of 1 more barbarian and pay for that canal, then I can win this turn. We have 4 cards in our hand. So I might not even have needed to do some of this stuff. I also have the ability to do the following. I can get more workers. So let's do that. Let's get a worker of a color that makes more sense. So right now, my reds can be blacks. We have these 3. We're just going to cover things to see if we have enough to kill him. I can get a provision. And I can get 2 more provisions right now. Let's just do that. Let's just take care of him. So 3 provisions, 3 meeples. And he goes away. I'm going to get another card. And I'm going to get a shell. If I can get rid of this canal space this turn, I survive because 4 barbarians will come out. Because there's like a 4th section here. I don't really know how this works. It's kind of confusing, like how often you'll be able to take advantage of this space. Maybe that's something that like happens with more cards later on. I don't know. Anyway, I need 3 shells. I need more workers. Neither of these guys give me workers, so that's a problem. They give me 2 workers. They give me 2 workers. All right, let's get rid of this guy for 2 blue workers. I can get a provision with 1. I needed a blue worker. So, and then I'll get rid of this guy for a white and a red. A white and a red. So a white, a blue, and a red. I actually have all the colors. I didn't even need the outpost for this particular piece. So we are going to advance the canal. Although we got to get rid of 2 guys. And then we also have to read 24. Maybe that will mess with us. Let's see. Okay. I had been waiting hours for my workers to return from finishing our most recent canal when a shout came up from the edge of the tents. The workers have returned, but they were bloodied and tired. Barbarians have been roaming nearer and nearer to our camps, shouting for the ways they could hurt our efforts. It seems like they found what they were looking for. File the constructed canal card under the history. Find card 34. File it under new huts. So this will be another new hut that we see later on. Anything else happen? And then I have to take 1 damage. I have a card to do that, so we're still okay. I think we are in an okay position. I paid for that. We're down to the barbarians. We are going to take them. We're going to take a provision, take them, and I don't know. I guess we'll just get 2 clays, a provision, 2 clays, a provision, and a shell. Feels very anticlimactic, but it seems like that's how it's working out. So then we are going to finish the turn. Oh, well, we should be fine still. We harvest, we take our actions, we return the barge. There's no place to return the barge to. We suffer attacks. We have to suffer 1 provision and 1 black meeple. I can use a red meeple as a black meeple because of our outpost, although if I didn't, I could have just then destroyed a card, and I do have 1 card left on the pile. And then we fill 4 barbarians. 1, 2, 3, and then these would get shuffled. 1 would come out. This would come out. And that is the end of the game. A very long one. Probably for my own doing. Doing a lot of stalling, which is... don't know if that's how you're supposed to play or not, but that's how it worked out for me in this particular game. So what happens now? We take a win card, right? We turn over the top victory card. I'm directed to read the entry from the storybook. We have to read 35. And I think now my next game is going to be harder because of this. This is like a whole long thing to read. All right. Here's to Shani, to Shanxi. Another year has passed, and once more I see the fruit of our labor. The floodwaters move ever closer to the sea, and more land is safe from their ravages. The people of the region will not find the next year easy, but surely it will feel that way given the trials of the past one. As I sit and watch the waters rushing in our canals, my throat is killing me right now. I feel great joy, but when I look to where they flow and the task ahead, I can only feel the pull of home. See your radiant face and that of my children. The desire surges in me like a great floods I seek to tame. I will go on. There is word of more trouble further towards the coast. A great barbaric stronghold has been restored to continue our work downriver. It must be overcome. A distance tests a horse's strength. Time reveals a person's character. File the revealed victory card under history. So this goes away forever. Find card 67 in the story deck. 7. I don't know what that is. Where does this go? File it in the box under other setup cards. This is the fortress card, okay? For future games, place the fortress card face up in the rightmost space above the board. When placing a barbarian card into the space, place it in such a way that you can still see the workers required to attack the fortress, as well as the damage bribe shown from the bottom. Barbarian cards will still move in and out of the spaces as they slide to the left, but the fortress card will never move. In this way, the most recently revealed barbarian card will always be inside the fortress. The fortress and the barbarian card in its space must be attacked simultaneously. You cannot attack the barbarian card unless you can also destroy the fortress. Making the attack will only cost 3 provisions, not 6. In the example, it would cost a total of 3 provisions, 3 laborers, 2 riders, and 1 archer to both defeat the barbarian and destroy the fortress. Destroying the fortress is not required to win the game. Okay, do we get a reward for destroying the fortress? This is what the fortress looks like. So there is like a story element. So maybe we want to get that done at some point. But it does mean we're going to lose workers way faster now. So I'm not happy with that at all. Thought it would be something good, but I guess I kind of knew it would be something good. So anyway, that is Legacy of You, and it was fun. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I want to give a shout out to my couple Patreon people. Again, I appreciate your support. It's been helpful, keeps me motivated. Sorry it's been such a delay since my last video. Hopefully hearing me and seeing me helps you understand why it took so long. If I touch right here and right here, it's really painful. It's also my kid's birthday party tomorrow, so I won't be around, so I wanted to get this done today. But yeah, let me know if I cheated in the comments. I don't think I did. I hope I didn't. I did do a few takebacks, but I don't think I messed any of the take-back stuff up. If you don't like take-backs, let me know. I'll try to do it less, but that's just something that you kind of do when you play solo. Also not sure if I moved this up. Maybe it's actually still there. All right. Anyway, thank you for watching. I feel like I'm going to definitely lose the next game because of that fortress card. We shall see. Till next time.